Hey everyone, I had the amazing idea to go on one of those emoji generators and generate myself three emojis and then create a person out of that. And so I have three people that I've made, and I'm very excited to talk about them right now. So let's begin. The first three emojis I got were a sunset, dice, and honey. And the first thing I thought of was she should have dyed hair. She should have dyed hair, or maybe it's just naturally that way. Either way, I kind of struggled with the hair. It was a new concept to me. I didn't know how I wanted to do her hair, but then I didn't know how to color it in a way that I wanted to color it. At the end of the speed paint, I made the background a bit darker so you can see the hair better. So I did think that I did well in the hair. So that's good. I think that she's a very confident person, though it might not seem like it from the outside. Definitely sly and great at games of chance. I'm not sure if it's cheating to put a bee on her sweater instead of honey, but I do think it's kind of the color of honey, so maybe that still counts. I'm not sure. I think that she'd definitely be a big fan of bright, warm colors and a very calm person who performs well under pressure. I think she'd have great sense of humor, though a bit dry at times. She was a very fun design to have, and I really enjoyed drawing her, and I just had so much fun. The next set of emojis was a hand making the gesture for loser. Although it was upside down, I still took it as a hand making the gesture for loser, a clock, and a square that I was confused about, but it turned out to be a record button. Okay, listen. I really, really like the idea of a character with a clock as their eye or both eyes. I'm not 100% confident about all the complications, like whether he can see out of that eye or if it tells real time. From the things I do have fleshed out, I think that he could be one of those characters who can control time to some extent. He's the kind of person who lives alone in a little corner of the woods and doesn't interact with others much, yet constantly gets bothered because of his supposed powers. That trope where he doesn't actually know what the clock does and is so tired of everyone telling him he's the special someone. He definitely reads like a bully who's just sick of everyone. I think he would be really good at comebacks, but his signature insult will always be calling someone a loser. Again, someone who's maybe akin to dry humor. He has a very good sense of time, which bothers him. There is the nagging of time is passing, which is very constant to him. He avoids having clocks and mirrors in his house. The recording screen is up to interpretation. It could either be someone recording him, or maybe his powers that he can record memories into that little clock. Again, had so much fun with this character and the design, and although I kind of struggled with what I wanted him to actually look like, and I kind of only had the concept of a guy who's gonna have a clock as the idea, I was still kind of able to make a character out of that, even though he looks eerily familiar. He looks like I know someone like him. But, yeah, I think this was really fun. I'm not sure what I want to have for his actual power. I do think the idea of his power is that he can record memories is really cool. And I think maybe him forgetting things in the future slowly is gonna be like something that happens. And then he's forgetting things, but then he has the clock, which has recorded his memories, and he finds out that that happens. And there's something he can do with the clock to like make the memories come back to life. I don't know. I think this is a very cool concept. Anyways, moving on. The next combination of emojis was a burrito, a tiger, and a sun. But don't get stuck on the burrito because I totally forgot about it being a burrito and made it a taco instead. Oops. Originally, I wanted this character to have hair like a lion's mane to make it look like the sun. That idea was scrapped in favor of a really cute idea. Again, with fun hair, it is dyed in the colors of a tiger, which I think turned out really cool. I wanted the burrito taco to be external to the character but present as a companion. I'm not a big fan of how the cat with the tiger's coloring turned out because it doesn't even look like a tiger. Either way, the cat is wearing a taco, and I thought of it as kind of like a floating companion. I think of both of these characters as magical, and thus obviously there shall be an animal sidekick to the person. Coming back to the main focus. This character is very kind and open-minded. They have a knack for reading people, and they use this in a respectful manner that helps people feel better. They are definitely an amazing hugger.
A side profile doesn't really fully help convey where I wanted to go with the marking slash makeup on their face. I thought the drawn on suns really made the design stand out. Ugh, they were definitely human sunshine, and I really love this. One thing I wasn't sure about was their clothes, which ended up just being an overall with a shirt that's the same color as their sun markings. I think they and their cat companion are the kind of characters that roam the land and seek out whoever needs help. Maybe grant wishes? Either way, I'm very proud of how this turned out, and I really like both of these characters.
I know I said only 3 characters, but I had so much fun that I made 2 more. So the next 3 emojis were lips, the yin yang, and a diamond. When I tell you this was my absolute favorite, I freaking mean it. The lips definitely called for bright red lipstick, but I decided that kiss marks on a mirror would be a much better way to go about it. And a diamond, I decided on a diamond mirror, and unfortunately, that meant drawing a reflection, which isn't something I'm very familiar with. I completely forgot at first that I wanted to make her color her skin the colors of the yin yang, but when I remembered what I had in mind, it turned out so cute. Anyway, this character seems like someone who really likes bright colors, though they don't look the best on her monochromatic skin. She seems very serene and calm. I think I would go to her for advice or maybe a nice conversation. I had freckles across her shoulders and face, and I think they look like stars. She's definitely wealthy, but not obnoxiously so, and she cares about her health and appearance. The kiss marks on the mirror are open to interpretation. They could either belong to her or someone else. She didn't look the best with that shade of lipstick, so I decided to scrap it. She absolutely revolves her values around the yin and yang, believing in balance between all things. I think she would have many friends, but only really trust a few close ones. I can see her hosting gatherings. Very, very inspiring character. I kind of struggled with coming up with details about her because while seems really interesting to me, I just couldn't come up with details about her because she seems kind of boring overall, if that makes sense. But either way, it's like, I mean, come on, she looks so cool. Anyway, moving on. 3 emojis. Chick, the shamoji, and the star going kind of like whoosh. I don't know. The last and final character, kinda didn't try as much on this one, but I still really like him. He's not afraid of accessories, and he chooses some that match his mood every day. He's like this nerd that looks nerdy, but then is actually nerdy on some niche topic instead of school stuff. I envision him actually really into marine biology and anything water related. Definitely has clear glasses at some point, but exchanged them for circles because those made him look too nerdy. His hair grows very fast, so he has to cut it at least once a week, but still keeps decent length. Experiments with hairstyles when hair grows too long. His favorite color is probably something like gray, even though he wears a lot of color. Can you tell I really like colorful characters? His mom bought that hoodie for him, so he wears it all the time ever since he moved out of his home, even though he has a secret hatred for everything green. He's very clever and independent, but indecisive, and honestly, me too. Also, somehow his ear and earring went all the way down to his sweater. What? How did that even happen? Anyway, that is all. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're interested in more of something like this, feel free to let me know. I will be more than happy to. And thank you, and bye.